Alrighty. You got RondoMontana, MaliStrip, PSA. You got the PSA with the whole RondoMontana, the MaliStrip, and the just the whole thing. The pool. You got the whole pool and everything else coming into it. With the them essential things. But you got PSA, especially with the PSAs. PSA. Hey, something. With the Rondo Montana, especially with MaliStrip. I ain't. It been a while too. Since I heard anything from Rondo Montana. Especially with the MaliStrips, especially them. The half of the other concern. They have that whole other junkies thing. But you got with the PSA, especially with this whole thing coming into it, like the movement of the MaliStrip and everything else. With the whole you know PSA. Especially with these whole for Corvons and mainly every other, patrols, but just with the MaliStrip.
Who's got the dots? I just got
Okay, let us know. Let us know something. Hey, send us that whole, that public, Mexican behavior, whatever, the whole thing.
Who's got the dots? I just got a drop. Cover ops on the block, just baking. I ain't got to ask twice, cause the last time I stepped on the bottom, blocks, man, taped it. I ain't got a drop. Cover ops on the. Who's got the dots? I just got a drop. Cover ops on the block, just baking. I ain't got to ask twice, cause the last time I stepped.
Who I just got the drop, so it's Upton Bacon. Hey, it's Upton Bacon and the whole thing, I just got the whole potential thing and everything else, especially how this whole thing is already refueling. Like this one's coming from another, don't know how to say it, but this one's coming from another steam. Like you put it in a steam, it's boiling. It's already, off lava rating.
On the bottom, blocks, man, taped it. Don't get chef like him while raving or trip get caught when I'm chasing. They hoop just snitch, the bag gets crashed, the drop come way too vacant. Who's got the dots? I just got a drop, cover ops on the block, just baking. I ain't got to ask twice, cause the last time I stepped on the bottom, blocks, man, taped it. Don't get chef like him while raving or trip get caught when I'm chasing. They hoop just snitch, the bag gets crashed, the drop come way too vacant. I got it on me if I say man's life. You try cut when I swung my knife. Have you ever made a band man cry and laugh when you think about it that night? Two real moped rev that jump off, chef that. I see another one cutting, catch him, chef that. Best man gang says you throw dot on the back of a 300. Any op I see, then he's gonna go. The Raleigh won't leave. Throw dot on the back of a 300. Any op I see, then he's gonna go. Says you throw dot on the back of a 300. Any op I see, then he's gonna go. The Raleigh on the back of a 300. Any op I see, then he's gonna go. The Raleigh won't leave me alone.
Ooh, that poor, whole thing that he said the whole Rolly S and everything else, and the main thing, especially how the whole thing goes and everything else. Like, hey, hey, he said the holes go below and everything else. Like, hey, I'm messing. This one has another procedure to it. Especially how this whole thing is already, facing like the face facts behind it. It just has a lot of face facts behind it. Like, it's just so with a hesitate. I didn't know this one was even like this one because this one. It's already coming through a 9 through a 10.
If you're talking about blocks in the borough, it's us who's got them shook up. Straight bootings and jook up. Wanna know, but again, just look up. Who's got the dots? I just got a drop, cover ops on the block, just baking. I ain't got to ask twice, cause the last time I stepped on the bottom, blocks, man, taped it. Don't get chef like him while raving or trip get caught when I'm chasing. They hoop just snitch, the bag gets crashed, the drop come way too vacant. Who's got the dots? I just got a drop, cover ops on the block, just baking. I ain't got to ask twice, cause the last time I stepped on the bottom, blocks, man, taped it. Don't get chef like him while raving or trip get caught when I'm chasing. They hoop just snitch, the bag gets crashed, the drop come way too vacant. Come to the L, you take that L. That's not a threat, it's a promise. With my dog like Wallace, 2 ups up them sides trying to fill up a coffin. Chest shot left him choking, coughing, and the blood weren't stopping. Said can't stop, that's an up I'm spotting. Let me pop those, then pop him. Late on high road, you can't be shot in. That's just asking for conflict. Stop it, talking verbal nonsense. I ain't trying to hear them lies.
Ooh, talking verbal nonsense. I ain't trying to hear them lies. Hey, especially how people bring lies on you. People can basically put a lie on you and, just put a lie on you and then they make it now you looking like a bad person or something like that. And you knowing who you are and who you not, or like, with the whole thing, especially how the whole thing comes in and comes through, like, it comes in with all type of, tournament, especially, all the lies that people be putting towards it too, especially this whole thing, like the effects and everything else, especially how this whole thing was already reverbal, how it's coming from, his type of point of view, the crazy type of point of, view and static.
That's how we know you got banged. Or how Terry got dropped in his head trying to rise his, then he ain't come outside. Lies, stop all the fucking lies.
Hey, coming in with this one though, with the PSA and the Rondo Montana and the MaliStrip, especially with the PSA, hey, he was PSAing us. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it came with, like what he came with, how he was reflecting us. He just gave us that, that's something, with the whole, it's Stonic and everything else, especially with the whole Rondo Montana and the MaliStrip and everything else, especially when it just comes into the especially when it comes into the MaliStrip and Rondo Montana. Like I didn't even expect, Rondo Montana to even give us the whole thing, especially with this whole thing. But this one was a loose one, like 9 out of 10. He went definitely, composing crazy on it. So it's a 10, out of 10 out of that whole, that whole procedure. But you got this whole procedure coming into it, especially with this whole thing coming to it and everything else. But make sure you guys definitely like, subscribe, comment, everything else, especially with this whole thing, coming through it and coming towards it, everything else. But with the Mollies.